Naval Air Station Lemoore is actually the home to the Navy Region Southwest Mobile Command Unit. It's designed to respond to disasters in the region of pretty much any scale or size. It's a modular, scalable unit. There are 2 trailers like the Mobile Command Unit that are here that can be used. They're designated to be rolled out if an emergency comes in, particularly like this particular exercise. Designed within 2 hours, they can hit the road in response to a disaster, get to the scene in a fairly quick manner, and once on station, they're actually set up to where they can remain on station for 72 hours before logistical fuel requirements become a concern. They're equipped with generators, lights, communication, all-terrain vehicles. It's a modular component system, so when they're loading out in that first 2 hours, they can respond depending on the incident with what they need. SAREX 2015 actually took place here in Monterey. Even though the crews began setting up Sunday night and through Monday in preparation of the training part of the portion, the actual SAREX began on Tuesday, simulating 2 F-18s that actually crashed mid-air collision. One crashed over the water, one crashed actually on land. 2 SAR helicopters were deployed to recover the pilots. We worked in conjunction with the Coast Guard, actually put 2 people in the water, brought them out, 2 people on land, brought them out. Within about an hour and 45 minutes, not only had we deployed, rescued, we'd actually delivered them to the hospital, and they had started receiving medical treatment. The exercise actually simulated that 1 pilot from each plane did not make it, and so that required notification of CAECO and going through that whole procedure to make sure that it was in place and simulated as well. Some of the key players in the area, like the local fire departments, the police department, those sorts of things, we actually offered seminars. And some of our team actually sat down with them and explained the way that the Navy does business. So some of it was our gear, what we have, what they can expect, what would it look like with an ejection, those sorts of things. We also discussed some of the unique concerns regarding an aviation mishap, particularly with military equipment. Carbon fiber, some of the chemicals that take place and that are there. Of course, they would have to touch stuff from a safety perspective perhaps, but other than that, just to secure the scene until our emergency response team could get there.
We do our best to minimize the impact we have on the local community. When something like this happens, first off, it's a tragedy that we lost one of our own service members, but secondly, there is an impact to the community. You've got an airplane out there that carries a fair amount of fuel, hydraulics, and oil. What is that doing to our local community, to our waterways? How long is the beach going to be closed? What are the effects that the weather's going to have on moving that stuff along the coast?
If the Navy experienced something like this, we wouldn't be able to handle it ourselves. We would need help from the local community, from the fire representatives, the police, whomever in the local community has the people as well as the equipment and the time to come out here and help us, again, minimize the impact that something like this would have on the local community, as well as help us do what the Navy does to extract material as well as personnel.
Part of the lessons learned that we found when we were out here were difficulties with logistics and communication. Most of the areas that we train in are over austere locations. They're not usually, unless we're transiting to a field for terminal landing. they're probably over a location that's got sparse lines of communication and population. Trying to get two-way communication, transport material to and from, transport tools to and from, can definitely be one of the major difficulties that we're finding here. The use of four-wheelers, other ATVs, six-wheel gators, and six-wheel ATVs, as well as ATV trailers and other all-terrain vehicle equipment is going to be something that, while it may not be used regularly in a contingency such as a mishap, it's going to fill a critical gap that we need in order to get one safety apparatus to a crash scene, to transport hazmat out, to prepare a mishap scene in order to be able to treat it and reclaim all of our military aircraft parts and personnel. It's something that we may not use on a daily basis, but ATVs are something that we're going to need should this contingency occur.
Let's go up. Yep. That's it, sit down. All right, 1, 2, 3.
SAREX 2015 was a phenomenal success, I think, in many ways. A lot of lessons learned, a lot of takeaways that we can build on. And I think that next year when we do our next exercise, we'll take these lessons learned, apply them, and create an even more realistic scenario. So the goal is every year we kind of alternate back and forth between something similar to this year and something in the mountains. And as we progress, each time our team is getting better. We have more corporate memory of the people and players on board, and we're able to improve our processes a great deal in order to make it more efficient. And in the event that a real life emergency takes place, will make us more effective in what we do.